Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Blue Ridge Silverhounds What's It Worth episode. And today we're going to be taking a look at a Kennedy half dollar that not a lot of people know that this was never intended for circulation. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So we are going to take a look at the rarity and the values of both the Philadelphia and Denver minted coins. Okay, these are non-proof issues. They look like every other Kennedy half dollar that's worth, what they're worth and are intended for circulation. So they're going to have the satiny appearance to them. You'll want to start out by identifying what you have. Okay, so on these particular coins, there's a tiny little letter right above the dates. It's in between the 9 and the 8 at the truncation of the bust of Kennedy. All right, and it's either going to be a letter P or a letter D. So you'll want to know specifically which coin you have. Do you have a Philadelphia minted coin or do you have a Denver minted coin? Because that's going to make some difference in this talking track on the values of these two particular coins. Typically, if you're east of the Mississippi River, you're going to see a lot of Philadelphia minted coins. If you're west of there, I'm in California, so I come across a lot of the Denver minted coins. But they do cross over. So just to let everyone know. So we're going to leave what I would say is the more valuable coin to the end. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Denver minted example first and foremost. And this coin right here, you got to know, first of all, how many of these were made and why. Well, there were 2,890,758 Denver 1987s that were produced. Okay, compared to some of the other dates around it, this amount is minuscule. How small are we talking about? Well, in the previous date, 1986, the Mint produced over 15 million copies of the Denver minted 1986. The year after, in 1988, they made 12 million. All right, so why the huge Mint discrepancy in all this? Well, it's real easy. This 1987 date, both in the Philly and the Denver, was only issued through mint sets. That's right. These were never produced and made strictly for circulation. These are a collector example that was made and produced for that demographic, for that market. So, why are we even talking about this? Well, I'm happy to say that these actually come up quite often in coin roll hunting and bank rolls. Some folks will receive these in pocket change on occasion. I know Kennedy half dollars aren't nearly as circulated as some of the other denominations, but these still pop up on occasion. And they're all in relatively good shape because these were derived from mint sets. People will break up mint sets, deposit the money into the bank, or their Coinstar, or just use them to just spend, at the gas station or store. Okay, it really doesn't matter. But that's the big differentiation. So that makes this coin a lot more special. And because people are breaking up these sets, the survival rate of actual brilliant uncirculated raw copies is few and far between. So you'll want to know exactly, how that shakes up on the price valuation scale. So, just a little bit of information on the designers of the coin. Of course, Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the Mint at the time, designed the obverse of the coin with Kennedy on there. And then on the reverse, you have Frank Gasparo's design of the heraldic eagle. Okay, it's really simple. There's not a whole lot of other things you need to know about in terms of design. There's no rare varieties or anything for either the Philadelphia or Denver minted coins that you would need to be aware of. So, realistically, how much do these go for in the secondary market? Okay, well, I'm happy to say if you were able to find a really nice like coin roll hunting find that's in brilliant uncirculated condition, which is very possible, these sell online for between $2 and $4. Okay, this is the lower end of the spectrum. Coins that are pretty well circulated and beat up are only worth face value, unfortunately, in spite of its low mintage. But, you know, typically in that BU condition, you're not going to have any problems selling these because people are looking for this coin to assemble albums and collections and things of that nature. So, what can we say in a nutshell about this coin? Well, it's got a really low mintage. It's 2,890,758, and the coin was only made available through U.S. Mint products. Okay, a mint set that was produced. Okay, these were not, again, intended for circulation. A lot of the examples that you do come across when you're roll hunting or pocket change will be in pretty nice condition, but aside from that, you know, the coin, again, is it's a tough one to find, but they are out there. So let's talk about those high grades. How much do these coins sell for? You know, let's say you send them off to a third-party grader like PCGS or NGC. These coins are extremely valuable. Okay, the 1987 dates is no exception. Both the Philly and Denver minted coins are both equally pricey and considerably tough to find in grades above Mint State 66. To give you an idea, Mint State 67 examples sell typically, for the Denver Mint, by the way, it's typically sell between $150 to $200. Okay, there are a few examples of this coin that graded Mint State 68. Here is one such example that sold on Heritage Auctions October 30th, 2015. You would have to go back 4 years to find the last Mint State 68 example that sold for $3,055. That's right. Your coin that you found for probably 50 cents could be worth this kind of money, but it has to be graded in PCGS plastic. And importantly, the coin needs to look blemish free. Okay, that's the only caveat to this whole thing. So here's a copy of the coin from that Heritage Auction site, and it's a really nice example. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the Philadelphia minted coin. Okay, and this one is what I believe to be a little bit tougher to locate in all grades. Okay, because Philadelphia minted coins traditionally does not have the same caliber of quality that the Denver Mint outputs. So that's going to make a big difference in the final valuation numbers toward the end of this video. But just like the Denver minted coin, this was a mint issue only release. There were 2,890,758 examples produced during its time. Circulated examples of this coin, again, is only worth face value. That's unfortunate given the low mintage figure. The designers are still the same. The only difference is it's got a different mint mark. So if you have that little letter P above the date, this is the Philadelphia Mint example that you do have. So for this coin right here, if you were able to find a brilliant uncirculated example, whether it's through coin roll hunting methods or perhaps you have a mint set with this coin in there, I'm happy to say that this one sells for a little bit more money. Okay, it would typically command between $2 and $5, and it should be a relatively easy sell because people are looking for really nice examples of this date. So that's the good news. Okay, here's where it gets really crazy, guys, and that is in the valuation of extreme high graded examples graded through PCGS or NGC. Okay, and there were a few copies that sold within the last 3-4 years that graded out at the top level, and that's Mint State 68. And we'll get to the pricing here in a second. But to give you an idea of the overall valuation of the coin above grades of Mint State 66, where it gets exponentially tougher, the Mint State 67 level of the Philadelphia coin sells for more than the Denver, and that is between $250 and $300. As a matter of fact, the last example sold through GreatCollections.com for $281. So it's still within that range. There were a couple examples that sold through Heritage Auctions, and the first one I'm gonna highlight because it's the nicer of the two, I guess. And this one was the most recent sale. This one sold the same time as that 1987D Mint State 68 example because they came from the same collection. On October 30th, 2015. Again, this is a Mint State 68 example by PCGS. This one sold for $4,112.50. Wow, that's a lot of money, but you got to make sure you have the prime example that is blemish free, and you have to have it graded by PCGS in order for it to command that kind of money. An auction house will certainly take this coin. So there are no grades finer than 68. Here's a second example. This one is about a year older. This one sold through Heritage Auctions August 7th, 2014. Also a Mint State 68 example. And I'm happy to say that this one sold for $3,290. Overall, the grade or the price range for a Mint State 68 is between $3,000 and $4,000. That seems to be pretty consistent in the marketplace over the course of a 5-year price trend. So, of course, you have a coin that holds a little bit of value if it's not graded. It's not thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars, but you have a coin that is worth as much as $5, depending on what it looks like. But to recap, the 1987 Philadelphia Kennedy half dollar, again, low mintage. This was only released through a mint set program by the U.S. Mint. This one is 2,890,758 pieces produced at the time, and it's tough to find. And to recap the valuations, circulated pieces are only worth face value. Brilliant uncirculated examples, whether by coin roll hunting or pulling them out of mint sets, are worth between $2 and $5. And of course, when we get into the higher grades and you send them off to companies like PCGS or NGC, Mint State 67 examples sell in the $250 to $300 range, and then the top pop Mint State 68 brings in between $3,000 and $4,000. So there's a lot of money to be made here if indeed you wanted to go into flipping this particular date of Kennedy half dollars. Not a lot of people know that this is kind of like a hidden rarity in coin roll hunting and pocket change. We automatically assume that 1980s Kennedy half dollars were a dime a dozen. This particular date, extremely tough. So if you guys hung in there, I appreciate your guys' time. As always, I do these weekly what's it worth broadcasts for you, so that way you know how much your pocket change is worth. As always, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And the best way that you can support my channel, as always, is to hit the like button, share, subscribe, and go ahead and throw in a comment. Let me know what you think. I appreciate your guys' time. Hopefully you found this a lot of fun and educational. And have fun. Take care.